Hello and welcome back to Python programming for O Level computer science. This time we're on to video 2 and we're going to be looking at if statements. As you can see, there are a series of videos to accompany this series. Okay, so let's get started. If statements in Python. So welcome to the second video in our Python series for IGCSE and O Level. In this series we'll be diving into the exciting world of programming with Python, as we've said before, one step at a time. But today, in this video, we're dealing with if statements. For example, a variable A has been given the value 100. A variable B has been given the value 200. If B, and we've got a sign here, if B is greater than A, okay, print B is greater than A. Only if B is greater than A. Okay, so that's an if statement. We could then add an else statement, an elif statement, or another if statement after it. But this is the very, very basics of if statements. Okay, so using a flow diagram, I'm going to try and give you a little bit more of an insight into this. If statements allow your program to make a decision and change the route that it's taken through the program. For example, if the user enters a number, this is what it's prompting us to do here, enter a number. Is the number greater than 100? Yes, it is. So it's going to print out a message, number is over 100, and then the program will stop. Or, is number 1 greater than 100? No, it's not. Is the number equal to 100? Yes, it is. So we'll print out this message. Or we go no again. Is number 1 equal to 100? Well, no, it's not. So number 1 must be less than 100. It can't be bigger. It can't be equal to. So it must be less than 100. Okay? So it gives us one of 3 options based on these 2 decisions here. Okay? And then we stop. So writing this in Python, number 1 equals an int input, enter a number. We covered this in the variables video. If number 1 is greater than 100, print num1 is over 100. Elif, else if, shortened version, else if number 1 equals 100. Yeah, we put 2 equal signs in because using a single equal is basically assigning values to a variable. But if number 1 equals, the value inside the variable equals 100, then number 1 is equal to 100. Else, print number 1 is less than 100. So that's how we would write this flowchart, how we would write this code in Python. Okay? So, what you may have noticed is these are indented. Okay? We've got the if, else, and elif, but the commands, the processors are indented. So indenting is super important in Python because it helps you see which lines of code go together. Remember that example from the last page I've shown you. To indent, you can either hit the tab key or press the space key 5 times. If you need to remove an indent, just use the backspace key. Now in Python, if you've done a program and you've done an if statement, when you press return, it should indent it automatically. And I'll show you that when we get into Python. What happens with if statements, the first line checks a condition. If the condition is true, it runs the code right below it. But if the condition isn't true, it checks for the next condition, and so on and so forth. Okay, so bearing this in mind, we've got some things called operators. These are what we just looked at, equals to, exclamation mark equals is not equal to, greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to. Okay, there's also some logical operators, the and the or, where both conditions must be met, or either condition must be met. And again, I'm going to show you some programs a little bit later on. Okay, so program 1. We've got the word sentence, a variable called sentence, and sentence has been assigned a string. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. Now, if fox, yeah, the word fox, is in sentence, so we're using in, if fox in sentence, so basically if fox is in the variable sentence, print the sentence contains the word fox. Okay? Else, print the sentence does not contain the word fox. So let's have a little look at this and see what will happen when we run it. Okay, so in terms of example 1, we're going to check if a string contains a specific substring. Okay, so I've got a variable called sentence, and the sentence contains a sentence. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. If fox appears in, sentence, print the sentence contains the word fox, else print sentence does not contain the word fox. In is it's a very nice thing in Python, which lets you sort of look within variables, as you can see here. So I'm going to run this. As you can see, the sentence does contain, I'll bring this down here, the sentence does contain the word fox. Okay, it does this there, look. Okay, but if I want to change the sentence, and this time the quick brown frog jumps over the lazy dog, and I run the program again, run module. Okay, we've got to save it. The sentence does not contain the word fox. Okay, no, because we've changed it to frog. Okay, so that's example 1. That's using if and else. If it contains this, do this. Else, do this. Okay, so we've got 2 choices. Basically a yes or a no. For this next program, we've got a score, and this is a number. So score equals int input, enter the student's score. Okay, if score is greater than 90, print excellent, this score is over 90. It's a little bit like the example I showed you at the very beginning. Elif score equals 90. Okay, print the score is equal to 90. Else, good effort, the score is under 90. Okay, so it's going to do one of these 3 options based on what number we put in for the student score. Okay, let's have a look in Python. Okay, with this one you could argue we've got a sort of a very, very basic report, a grade card generator. Okay, so we're going to check if the student score is within a certain range. Basically, is it above 90? Does it equal 90? Else it's going to be less than 90. Okay, so score equals int input. Enter the student score. So we're looking for a number. Okay, and then we've got this if greater than 90, else elif equals 90, or else something else, i.e. not. Okay, must be less than 90. If it's not greater than, if it's not equal to, it must be less than. So we're going to run this program. Okay, enter the student score. We're going to do 95. Excellent, the score is over 90. Okay, now I can't run this again. It's like a one time only, but after you put things like while loops in, which we'll come on to in a later video. But yeah, there you go. So again, if I run it now, run module, and this time I'm going to put a score of 70. Okay, good effort, but the score is under 90. So there's an example of using if, elif, and else, the 3 different choices there. Program 3, check if a given year is a leap year. Oh my word, okay, let's have a little look at this then. So year equals, again, number input, int input, enter a year. If the year, when it's divided by 4, equals 0, okay, so when we divide a year by the number 4, is there a remainder, or is there no remainder? Yeah, the remainder is 0. And is the year, when divided by 100, not 4? And the year, when it's divided by 100, does not equal 0. So we've got quite a big statement here. Or the year, when we divide it by 100, the remainder equals 0. So the remainder here, yeah, when we divide by 100, we don't get a remainder 0. When we divide by 400, we get a remainder 0. When we divide by 4, we get a remainder of 0. Okay? So if any of those conditions are true, the and the or, the year is a leap year. Okay? Else, print the year is not a leap year. This is called modulus. Okay? Modulus 4. So just to go, basically, it's basically, when we're dividing something, it's checking to see if the remainder is what we're saying it is, i.e. is the remainder when we divide a number by 4. So if I divide 16 by 4, I would get 4. Okay? There'd be no remainder. But if I divided 17 by 4, I would get 4, the remainder 1. Okay? So that's how this works. Okay, this example checks if the input year is a leap year according to the standard leap year rules. If the year is divisible by 4 but not by 100, or it's divisible by 400, it is considered to be a leap year. And we're just going to run this in Python to show you. With example 3, as I said, we're looking for a given leap year. So we're asking the user to input a year, and then is it divisible by 4 with a remainder of 0 using the modular operation in Python. Is it not divisible by, well, is it divisible by 100, but it would give us a remainder which doesn't equal 0? Or when divided by 400, does this equal 0? Does this have a remainder of 0? Okay, if any of these occur, then the year is a leap year. Else, the year is not a leap year. So let's run this and see. Run modular. Okay, so I'm going to enter the year I was born. Okay, this is a leap year. Why? Because the year, when we divide 1972 by 4, the remainder equals 0. And if we divide it by 100, yeah, the remainder does not equal 0. Okay, so let me try and show you again what that means. So if we divide something by 100, so let's say it's 1900. So run module, or the year 2000. Okay, this is a leap year. Okay, so as you can see, this example checks if the input year is a leap year according to the standard leap year rules. If the year is divisible by 4 but not by 100, or if it is divisible by 400, it is considered a leap year. Okay, so let's have a think about this. If I go run the file again, and I say the year 1900, okay, this is not a leap year, because although when we divide it by 100, it would equal 0. When we divide it by 400, yeah, it doesn't equal 0. We wouldn't have it equaling 0. So this is not a leap year. Program 4. Now we're mixing the in and the and. So we're going to check if a user's input is a valid email address. Now, what we in terms of a valid email address, what I'm talking about is, does it have an @ sign? Okay, and does it have a punto, a point in it? Okay, so email input, enter your email address. If an @ sign in the email, and if there's a point, a full stop in the email, then print the email address is valid. Okay, else print the email is invalid. So it's just doing a little bit of a check on these two conditions here. Yeah. So let's have a little look at Python and see how this works. So here we go, example 4. Check if the user's input is a valid email address. Okay, well, so we're asking for the user to input their email, of course, and then as I said, if, and we're using the in statement again, if the @ sign appears in email and a full stop appears in email, then print the email is valid. So I'm going to run this for you. So enter an email address. So robert@gmail.com, and that would be a valid email. So that's great. But if I run it again and I just put, okay, this is invalid. Okay, it must contain the @ sign and it must contain a full stop. So there we go. So it can't be one or the other. It's got to be and. We're using the and. And then finally, before I give you some challenges of your own, program 5 checks if a number is divisible by 3, 5, or neither. Okay, so number equals int input, enter a number. Again, we're using this modulus 3. So if the number is divisible by 3 and there's no remainder, for example, 9 would be divisible by 3 and there wouldn't be a remainder, and the number is divisible by 5 and there's no remainder, for example, if I put 15 in, 3 goes into 15 5 times with no remainder, and 5 goes into 15 3 times with no remainder. Print divisible by both 3 and 5. If the number is divisible by 3 with no remainder, print divisible by 3. If number is divisible by 5, i.e. 20, no remainder. Else print not divisible by either 3 or 5. So let's have a little look at this. Run module. Okay, and I enter 45. It's divisible by both. If I run it again, just to do some checks, put the number 2 in, not divisible. Run again. This time I put the number 9. And you can see that's just divisible by 3. So that should sort that out, but here you can see I've used two elif statements, okay, for these two examples, okay? Only by 3, only by 5, or neither. Depending on the divisibility, it prints a corresponding message using if, elif, and else. If you've come across a chapter which features checksum for your IGCSE and O Level computer science, then you will be familiar with this, where we're checking sums for modular 11 and we're checking ISBN 13. We will use this in our checksum. Okay, so that's it. They're the 5 examples. So we'll move on to the challenges. Now here, I've got 3 programs for you to have a little go at coding in Python. Okay, so the first one, ask for 2 numbers. If the first one is larger than the second, display the second number first and then the first number. Otherwise, show the first number first and then the second. Okay. 2, ask the user to enter their favorite color, American spelling. If they enter blue, capital in lowercase, blue in capital letters, or blue, first letter capital, display the message I like blue too. Otherwise, display the message I don't like whatever color the person has put in. I prefer blue. Okay, and I've put a little tip up here. Use color.lower in your challenge to make all inputs lowercase. So basically, when we do an input, if we put color.lower, whatever somebody types in, it will automatically change it to lowercase. Maybe have a little think about that, how you could include that to make everything turn into lowercase blue. Okay, and then 3, quite complicated this one, ask the user's age. Ask for them to enter their age. If they are 18 or over, display the message, congratulations, you are eligible to vote. If they are 17, display the message, almost there, you can learn to drive next year. If you are 16, display the message, sweet 16, you can now buy a lottery ticket. And if you are under 16, display the message, grab some popcorn and watch a thrilling movie. Okay, so there's 3 little challenges for you to have a go at. So at this point, I recommend pausing the video and then I will show you how I would tackle these challenges. So good luck. I'll see you on the other side. So for the first challenge, I'm going to use 2 variables, num1 and num2. And what I'm doing is, rather than setting them to int input, I want to set them to float so we can put in decimal numbers if we choose to. So enter the first number, enter the second number. Now, we're going to check basically if the first number is larger than the second number. So it's nice and easy. If num1 is greater than num2, print the second number and then the first number. Okay, else print num1, num2. Okay, so it's just going to sort out the ordering. So if I run this, okay, enter a first number 4.5, the second number 7.2. Okay, it prints the first number and then the second number. Okay, because the first number, as you can see, is smaller than the second number. Okay, so that would be quite an easy little challenge, just using a greater than sign and then printing the variables. For the second challenge relating to favorite color, I've created, using the American spelling of color, a variable called color. Okay, and then all I want the user to do is input your favorite color. Okay, so we're going to check, and we're going to use, it did say in the example, if they enter blue, okay, capital blue, or first letter capitalized blue, then display the message, I like blue too. I like blue also. Okay, else, I don't like whatever color the person's put in, I prefer blue. Okay, but I'm using this here, dot lower. Okay, so if the variable, yeah, when typed in lowercase, equals blue, okay, print I like blue too. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So if I go File, and if I go Run Module, so if I type in capital blue, I like blue too. That's fine. It's taken the capitalized blue and it's turned it into lowercase. It's made sure that blue here, or rather the blue that's been typed in up here, is the same as this blue here. It's basically turned it into lowercase. Okay, but if I run this module again, and I type in anything, yellow, I don't like yellow, I prefer blue. Okay, so that would be challenge 2. Now challenge 3, we're looking at this one again, ask the user's age. So I'm just going to open this. So age into input, yeah, enter your age. If the age is greater than or equal to 18, okay, you're allowed to vote. If it equals 17, brink of hitting the road and learning to drive, passing your test in your car. Elif is sweet 16, it's time to play the national lottery. Print, enjoy your youth, grab some popcorn and watch a thrilling movie. So there are choices. Now validation should be okay on this, because if I go run module and I type in 100, you're ready to cast your vote. Okay, well I've been ready to cast my vote for however many years, but okay, great. Okay, and then if I run this module again, just to go put some boundary data in, if I type in 5, okay, enjoy your youth, grab some popcorn and watch a thrilling movie. Okay, just to show you the other two, or just one of them, if I run the module, this time I put 17, okay, you're on the brink, prepared to hit the road, okay, next year. So there we go, again, that's given us those 4 different choices. For using, when we've got more than 3 choices, I've doubled up on the elifs, as you can see. That is it for video 2, so thank you very much indeed for watching, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much, and bye for now. Please continue to ask questions, leave your comments, hit notifications, and please subscribe. And finally, if you wish to buy me a coffee, I'd be truly grateful. Please visit buymeacoffee.com/learning zone. Thank you very much indeed. See you next time. Bye for now.